A single dad janitor yelled, "Ma'am, don't get in the car!" What the billionaire CEO did next shocked the entire company, and it will leave you speechless by the end. The words tore through the crisp afternoon air, raw and desperate. Avellini Langford froze, one hand on the polished chrome handle of her sedan. Her whole world suddenly cracked open. The city's hum, the distant sirens, the murmur of traffic, the rustle of wind through the concrete canyon, it all fell away, leaving only that ragged, terrified voice. Two men in dark suits, her security detail, moved as one. They closed on the source, a man in a gray janitor's uniform, face pale, slick with sweat. He had burst from a service exit like a ghost exploding out of the steel and glass tower. His eyes were wide, locked on her, pleading. "Stay back!" One guard, Graves, placed himself between Avellini and the janitor like a living wall. The second guard spun the man around and slammed him hard against the limestone wall. Keys clattered to the pavement. "Don't let her get in!" The janitor gasped, neck craned, eyes still on Avellini. "Please, you can't!" Avellini's shock turned to ice-cold anger. She was already 12 minutes late for a meeting that could not be moved, a meeting wrapped in absolute secrecy. This was unacceptable. "Graves, what is the meaning of this?" she demanded, voice sharp enough to cut glass. "Who is this man?" "Liam Byrne, ma'am," Graves answered, scanning rooftops, parked cars, everything. "Night shift maintenance. He's lost it." The other guard wrenched Liam's arms higher. "No!" Liam's voice cracked. "Listen to me, just for a second. The car, it's not safe." Safe. In Avellini Langford's world that word went through a dozen risk filters, but screamed by a frantic janitor on a city sidewalk, it only meant one thing. Graves narrowed his eyes, looked at the sleek black sedan, then back at Liam's terrified face. Protocol kicked in, cold and fast. "Ma'am, step away from the vehicle now." Avellini's jaw tightened. "A bomb? Graves, this is absurd. The man is clearly unwell." "Maybe, ma'am," Graves said gently but firmly, guiding her toward the marble entrance. "But we don't get paid to gamble on maybe." Minutes later the street became chaos, red and blue lights swirling, police cruisers blocking both ends, bomb squad rolling in. Avellini watched from inside the lobby, arms crossed, fury tightening in her stomach. Her perfect afternoon ruined. Her driver stood pale behind the police line. Liam Byrne was on his knees, cuffed, staring at the lonely black sedan like it was a coffin. He had stopped her. That was all that mattered. But here's the twist nobody saw coming, the reason he was willing to throw his whole life away in one scream. He thought of his daughter, Maya, 7 years old, sitting by their apartment window, sketchbook open, tiny hand trembling from the disease that was stealing her, cell by cell. He remembered the doctor's hushed voice. "The progression is faster than we thought, Mr. Byrne. We're out of options." Except there was one option, a secret trial, a supposed miracle, hidden inside the very building he cleaned every night. And the primary test subject? Avellini Langford's own brother. An hour later the bomb squad declared the car clean. No bomb. No threat. Nothing. Only embarrassment, and a janitor facing felony charges. The officers hauled Liam to his feet. "You're looking at serious time, pal. False report, inciting panic." They were about to put him in a cruiser when Avellini stepped out, heels clicking like a ticking bomb. "Graves, stand down," she said quietly. She stopped right in front of Liam, eyes burning. "You have 5 seconds to tell me why you just destroyed my day. If I don't believe you, I will destroy the rest of your life." Liam's throat was sandpaper. He swallowed hard and whispered the words that changed everything. "Neurosynaptic decay syndrome." Avellini flinched, just a tiny crack in an unbreakable mask. Because that impossibly rare disease wasn't just killing his little girl. It was killing her brother too. She turned to the officers, voice like winter. "This is now a corporate security matter. Langford Industries will not press charges. Release him into my custody." Handcuffs clicked open. Graves placed a hand on Liam's elbow and marched him to the private elevator, straight to the 50th floor conference room, a glass box overlooking the city. 2 silent hours later, Avellini walked in alone. She didn't sit. She circled like a shark. Neurosynaptic decay syndrome, fewer than 2,000 cases worldwide. Tell me, Mr. Byrne, how a man who mops floors became an expert in rare neurology. Liam's hands shook behind his back. My daughter, Maya, diagnosed 6 months ago. She's 7. She loves to draw. Her hands shake when she holds a pencil now. They told me there's nothing they can do. He looked straight at her. I know about the trial you're secretly funding. The Langford Initiative. I know you think you found a cure. But it's a lie. The treatment doesn't work. It makes it worse. I pieced the real data together from your shredder bins. They're not saving your brother, Miss Langford. They're using him, and when the money transfers tonight, they'll make sure he never wakes up. Avellini's face went blank, fortress walls slamming back up. But inside, doubt exploded. She sat across from him, voice low. You're not leaving this building until I know everything. My people are pulling your daughter's full medical file right now. If you're telling the truth, we have a mutual interest. If you're lying, you'll wish the police had kept you. 45 minutes later, the encrypted file hit her tablet. Maya Byrne, age 7. Stage 2 neurosynaptic decay syndrome. Aggressive progression. The notes matched her brother's chart word for word. The foundation wasn't sand. It was granite. Avellini's voice came over the intercom, cold and clipped. Put Mr. Byrne on speaker. I want to hear his daughter. The call lasted less than 2 minutes, but it broke something open in the Ice Queen CEO. A little voice. Daddy, where are you? You didn't call after school. I'm sorry, sweet pea. Big mess at work. I'll try to be home for bedtime stories, okay? I drew a castle with a huge gate to keep the monsters out. You keep that gate strong for me, baby. I love you more. Click. Upstairs, Avellini closed her eyes, hearing a father's heart crack in real time. Then she found the hidden payments, the shell company, the disgraced researcher Corbin Vance, the offshore accounts, the line item. Post-transfer asset liquidation. They weren't talking about money. She grabbed the intercom. Graves, fuel the jet. We're going to the research facility tonight. And Mr. Byrne is coming with us. Hours later, under cover of darkness, a billionaire CEO, her head of security, and a janitor in a stolen uniform crawled through a chemical waste pipe into the belly of a fortress. Because the janitor knew every dirty secret the building hid, and the CEO finally believed him. They moved through darkness, night vision green, breathing filth, hearts hammering. They found armed mercenaries loading biohazard containers, moving the timeline up. They diverted, climbed a dumbwaiter, watched a fake gurney with a covered body roll toward the elevator, Dr. Finch smiling like he'd already won. Liam whispered. Decoy. He's still here. They found the real room, an old surgical theater, Kellen Langford strapped to machines, amber poison dripping into his vein. Liam spotted the hidden bag. That one doesn't belong. Avellini ripped it out. The heart monitor steadied. Alarm screamed. Mercenaries breached. Graves held the door alone, emptying magazine after magazine. Get him out, ma'am! That's an order! The ancient service elevator plummeted into free fall, sparks raining, crashing at the bottom. They stole a box truck, smashed through the gate, and brought the truth into the dawn. Helicopters swarmed. Finch and Vance in cuffs. Graves, found alive barely, surrounded by unconscious attackers, out of bullets but still on his feet. 6 months later. Sunlight poured through an old oak tree. A little girl who couldn't hold a crayon steady now kicked a soccer ball with perfect balance, laughing. A man who once needed machines to breathe leaned on a cane and laughed with her. Maya and Kellen, the first 2 patients of the real cure. On the porch, Avellini handed Liam a glass of lemonade, fingers brushing, eyes soft. Look at them, she whispered. Liam smiled, the kind that reaches the eyes. I was just trying to be a dad. That's what heroes are, Liam. Just people trying to protect the ones they love. At the edge of the lawn, a retired security chief with a brand new limp watched the kids play, a quiet smile on his face. Maya ran up, cheeks pink, holding a new drawing. No more castle with a monster gate. Just a simple house under a giant yellow sun, 5 stick figures holding hands. And above them all, the sun touched every single one. Some stories start with a scream in a parking lot and end exactly where they're supposed to, on a quiet porch, monsters gone, family found. If this one hit you in the chest, do me a favor, hit that like button, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from tonight, and subscribe so the next one finds you. I read every single comment. See you in the next story.